Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today we're talking about Clover Health, and we have one question that we want to answer. After a records of earning almost $200 million, why is it continuing to drop down? So today we're going to be discussing that, and we're going to go through all the possible scenarios, at least the ones that come to my head. So let's jump right into that. So Clover Health. If you haven't heard about this one before, I've covered it multiple times before, and I do have my previous video in the description below. But today's basic kind of question is regarding their earnings, and have they actually been meeting it or not, regarding their forecasts and some of the latest highlights. So first off, let's start with SEC filing, bringing in a little bit towards some of the highlights and some of the financial outlooks coming in for the second quarter and the year. So the first thing is the Medicare Advantage membership was approximately 66,300 as of March 31st, an 18% increase year over year. Total revenue was around 200 million, 0.3 in the first quarter, which is a 21% increase compounded to the first quarter in 2020. Now, this growth was primarily due to the membership increase. Now, their consolidated GAAP and MCR for the quarter was 107.6 compared to 89.4 year over year. Now, the salaries and benefits plus general administrative expenses for the quarter was $104.6 million compared to $50 million for the first quarter to 2020, and an increase of $54.6 million. This increase was related to primarily an increase in non-cash stock-based compensation expense related to stock awards that were issued to certain executives in connection with the company's merger with the SPAC. Now, the GAAP net loss for the first quarter, $48.4 million compared to $28.2 million for the first quarter of 2020. The first quarter 2021 results were impacted by the application of the updated guidance from SEC related to their public and private placement warrant issued by the company with connection to the merger. So you get to see that the merger itself brought in a lot of costs. So keep that in mind, plus a record revenue. This kind of gives you a bit of perspective into, hey, is it a little bit being currently undervalued and a little bit pushed downwards? And we're going to answer that as we go. So for the full year outlook, Medicare Advantage membership is expected to be in the range of 68,000 to 70,000 by December 31st, 2021. Now, the current presentation that they did have was estimated around 73,477. So this is a little bit less from what they actually anticipated previously based on their forecast on the presentation, which was a growth presentation, with the growth rate of 17 to 21%. The presentation's growth rate was around 30%. So it falls short a little bit to what they were actually estimating using this projected financial results when they were a SPAC. Now, this is in comparison a little bit less than what we anticipated but for the Medicare Direct Contracting Program, while the company expected to have access to 200,000 Medicare beneficiaries through its contracts with participating providers, we believe that we will end 2021 with between 70,000 to 100,000 total aligned beneficiaries. Voluntary alignment will occur quarterly, and the majority of the voluntary alignments are expected to become effective in the fourth quarter. Now, total revenues are expected in the range of $810 to $830 million, which is somewhere close towards what they estimated, but falls a little bit short because 2021 estimated was $872 million, which is anywhere between $62 to $42 million short from what they're anticipating currently. Now, the next thing here is that direct contracting for GAAP revenue estimates for direct contractings are dependent on the finalization of accounting treatment, which we will expect to be completed by the end of the second quarter of 2021. The CMS benchmark expenditures under management for direct contracting are expected to be in the range of $700 to $800 million, with the total Medicare spent under management, which includes revenues from Medicare Advantage program, plus estimated CMS benchmark expenditures for direct contracting, is expected to be in the range of $1.5 to $1.6 billion. We don't have much information towards this one here. Now, their normalized adjusted EBITDA is expected to be in the range of $240 million to $190 million. Now, over here is 9.4%. We don't have exact percentages here, but gives you still an idea on what we're going for. Now, and from here, we're able to move on towards some of the details that they did share themselves. Now, of course, this is a record quarter in terms of total revenue, but let's take a look into some of the further details in the balance sheet. Total assets increased as a result of the SPAC. We do understand that administrative costs, etc., have increased because of the SPAC, but your net loss is 48 million compared to 28 million year over year. And before moving on towards technical analysis, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button as it helps me a lot, and turn notifications on. You'll find a link or a button down in the bottom right. Now, if you'd like to as well see more contents like this, you can join the discussion in the Discord below. It's totally free, the server, and drop a like. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint, there is a lot that is interesting right now, but before then, the institutional buyers, Vertium Financial, liquidated their position by 53%. Yet Jane Street, Charles Schwab, Exodus Point added hundreds and thousands of shares. Senator Investment Group added 5 million shares. So they have been a bit active in May. Green Oaks Capital Partners added 96 million shares. So that is actually quite massive, because even if you were to look into just the general kind of numbers here, there's a lot of shares being added in general or being declared. So some of these are actually repetitive. For instance, you look into the green, or what was it called? The Green Oaks Capital, the 96 million shares is actually back from February as a 13G. But you're able to see almost all the institutional kind of information, the buyers there, which does definitely look bullish and bearish. Now we can move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a one-day technical analysis standpoint of view, what we get to see here is that the MACD is kind of curving back upwards, indicating that perhaps a bullish reversal is very close. Now, the current million percent R, which is very similar to the RSI, showcases an oversold perspective. Now, million percent R does give you an understanding, but the 80X itself is signaling that perhaps it's the start of a trend at 2105, and momentum is picking back up. 10 SMA is above 30 MA and there's bullish, but the price point is below the 50 SMA line at the 829, which is bearish. Now, from stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are indicating that perhaps it's almost an accumulation phase and it might be smart to pick some up. Now, currently in the moving average bands, the Bollinger Bands, on the top you have 1059 and in the bottom 639. So start expecting for them to trade within that range. However, you get to see that the Bollinger Bands themselves continuously expanding, and that might not be the best thing to do here. Now, in terms of Fibonacci retracements, it gives you a quick understanding of some key support levels that we might want to look at. So the Fibonacci support is around 631. The resistance is around 888, the top 1048, top 1177 as a resistance, 1307, 1491, and 1724. Now, on a price line action, we see a significant resistance level sitting at the 703. Above there, 772. Above there, you're looking at 803, and then the 902 level going upwards to 1006, 1079, and then upwards to 1178, 1319, 1381, 1440, and 1485. Coming on towards the significant support levels, what we see here is that there is currently a support level at the 680 level, and below there, 660. Below there, it's 631. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you actually think about this stock? And I can talk a lot about Clover Health and why I do like what they're doing, but to kind of cut it short is that they still have this kind of lawsuit or investigations going on with it. We still didn't hear exact outcome, but most likely they will be, well, if things were going really well, we probably would have heard about it, but if things were going really bad, we probably also would have heard about it. So it kind of probably is sitting in and just normal cues of information in general. Now, on the other hand, this stock had a record earnings. They're actually doing a lot better than what they were doing previously. And so you can anticipate that they're actually going to continuously be bullish in the future. But in a shorter term, what we get to see is that there is a little bit of speculation regarding, hey, they're not actually meeting the outlooks that they promised us earlier in this SPAC phase. And that might be concerning because maybe they're not going to meet net positive by 2023. It could be 2025, 2026, and that is a valid case. And that is the only bearish case I can think of. But other side, they have every kind of key point that they can really make a bullish case for it, and it all depends on the management. Now, for the shorter term, it's going to be a bit painful for some. But in the longer term, I do very much hope that it's going to be very much rewarding in prosperity. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.